Hey there, today we'll be doing this question that appeared in Leetcode Weekly Contest 316, that is 2447 number of subarrays with GCD equals to K. So the question statement is given an integer array nums and an integer K, return the number of subarrays of nums where the greatest common divisor of subarrays element is K and subarray is a contiguous non-empty sequence of elements within an array. And GCD, you must be knowing that it is the greatest common divisor. So now how to do this? So if we just come down here, we can see that nums.length is 1000, right? So if nums.length is 1000, we know for a fact that we can do it in n square time complexity right here. So for that reason, what are we going to do? We are just going to do a brute force. Now how to do this brute force? It is very simple. All you have to do is just check for all the subarrays. And how do we check for all the subarrays? It is very simple. So I'll just try run this once and it will be very clear to you on how to do this. 93126 and 3. So this is your subarray, and what has been given to you? You have been given that the GCD of all the subarrays should be k, that is k is equals to 3. Now for this reason, what are we going to do? We are just going to iterate from every index. That is, let's just say the array indexes are one based for now. Fine, it is obviously zero based, but I have written one based just for the simplicity. Fine. So now we start from 1, index 1, and we'll try to check if index 1 is a valid subarray which has a GCD of 3. Now, is it? No. If you see 9 that we are having, 9 has what? 9 does not have a GCD of 3. But if we take 9 and 3, that is a subarray. So is it having a GCD of 3? Yes, it is indeed having a GCD of 3. Since the greatest common divisor that divides 9 and 3 both is equals to 3, right? So all you have to do is just run a brute force from every index, mind you. So what are we going to do? For every index, we are just going to run a brute force. Now for index I is equals to 1, what are we going to do? We are just going to check for the first one. After that, what are we going to do? We are going to extend for 2. That means from 1 to 2. Is it having a possible subarray which is having a GCD of k, that is 3? Now we'll just similarly increase the range from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. After this part is done, what are we going to do? We are just going to iterate from 2 till n, right? After that, from 3 to n and so on up till we have exhausted our whole subarray. Fine. So now let's get on to the implementation. I hope the explanation was pretty clear to you. And for the part GCD, if you don't know GCD, please do check out what GCD is. It's elementary school mathematics. Fine. But it is possible that you have not actually known it, or you must have forgotten it. So please do check out GCD once. It is very easy. So what are we going to do? We're just going to iterate. I'll just erase this part as well. So at every instance, that is for every index, we are just iterating from I till n, right? So if we are at I is equals to 0, we'll start from j is equals to I. That means if I'm here right now, I'll just draw one subarray for here. If we are here, we're just going to go from I till n. Now, next we want to go from 2 till n, right? So that is why in the inner loop, we have to start from I, j is equals to I. And all we have to do is we just have to check for all the GCDs. Now, if at any given instance, that is my GCD of all the numbers have been equals to k, I'm just incrementing the value of count. Fine. And what is this previous variable, you might be thinking? Let's just understand this better here. So I'll just write this part 93126 and 3, and I'll just bring it down. Okay, so coming on to this previous, what is this previous variable actually doing? So let's just say that if we are at the first index, okay, we are taking for the first index only. So what do we have? Is the GCD of 3? Obviously not. It is 9 itself, right? If we are taking just a single element, it's just 9. Let's just say it's 9. Fine. if we are just having that. Now what are we having? Now, coming on to 3. Now, if we see what is the GCD of 9 and 3 that we are having. So, now when we see the GCD of 9 and 3, it is coming out to be 3, right? So, what is my previous GCD right now? It is coming out to be 3. So, I've stored it in a variable saying that, okay, I will be needing the GCD of all the previous variable. Now, coming on to 1 and 3. Now the GCD till this point was how much? It was 3. Now when I'm trying to do the GCD with the next element, that is 1, I'll be needing the GCD that was inherited previously or was calculated previously from the other previous values. So the GCD of 3 and 1 turns out to be how much? It is turning out to be 1, right? Which is not our desired GCD that we wanted. Now when we move further, we have actually found the GCD to be 1. Right now the GCD turns out to be 1, right? So at this index, our GCD turned out to be 1. Now when I try to move further, if you see the GCD of 1 with any other element, it will always be 1 only, right? So there's no point just going further. So I'll not be going till this much. So I hope you have understood this part. Why have I have actually taken a previous value? It is just to store the previous GCDs, right? So if I'm having the previous GCD, I'll be taking into account for every number that what was the previous GCD. I'll do a GCD again with this number. So a quick summary of this again. You are having a number 9, 3, 1, and 2. Let's just say this is your array. And what are you going to do? You're just going to take a GCD variable which will say, okay, this was my GCD until this point. So GCD was 9 until here. Now, what will be the GCD when you come to this index? It will come out to be 3. When you come to this index, I'll do a GCD with 3 and 1. What is it coming out to be? It will come out to be 1. Now, I'll do a GCD with 1 and 2, right? So, all you have to do is just maintain a previous variable, and at every index, what are you going to do? Do a GCD of wherever you are currently right now and the previous, right? So, this is what you have to do. Now, this is the whole explanation, and the code will also be available in the link which will be provided in the description. If you have any doubt, please do ask me in the comment. I'll be replying. And if you did understand the explanation, please do like and subscribe.